Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is definitely something different for my channel. You guys always see me filming shopping vlogs, hauls, everything's upbeat, happy. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about depression and anxiety. I wanted to kind of share my story, what has been working for me. I was recently diagnosed and I've just noticed there's not a lot on the internet about that, and when I was looking, the few stories that I was able to watch and relate to really helped me a lot. And if I can do that for one person, I know a lot of people struggle with it, then I feel like this video is a plus. So yeah, we're gonna be getting ready and chit-chatting. I'm gonna just go ahead and dive straight in. So I want to start off by, I'm going to give like a little backstory on how I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and then I'm going to tell you kind of like my backstory, and then I'm going to tell you how I'm finally getting to a spot now where I'm in such a better place, and my life is honestly like it's changing so much. And yeah, so basically, pretty much about a year ago, I've always had problems sleeping. I've always had like heart palpitations. My voice gets really shaky. And about a year ago, I was having really bad heart palpitations to the point where I thought like I was having a heart attack. And I am in my early to mid 30s, I guess you would say. So I was like, something has got to be wrong. This is not normal. And I went to the ER and they did an EKG. And then what made it even worse was the doctor that came in there. So they had already done the EKG. And after they did that, I was wearing like a little zip up. This guy was a pervert. Like he pretty much pulled my shirt down. I'm not going to go into the full story, but needless to say, he told me I had anxiety. He wanted to give me a shot, told me to go see my primary care physician. Needless to say, after that experience, I was like, I don't want to go back to any doctor ever again. So a year goes by, and a lot of my symptoms, like things I was dealing with, I didn't know until after I was diagnosed. Like these are all signs of depression and anxiety. Most of my symptoms, I was gaining weight like crazy, even though I wasn't eating much. I was gaining weight like crazy. My periods were getting worse. I was not able to sleep. Like my sleep, I would lay down and it would take me probably 2 hours to fall asleep, and then I would wake up in the middle of the night. So also heart palpitations, panic attacks, what I know is now are panic attacks. I had no motivation. Some days I would just wake up and I'd be like, what is the point of getting out of bed? I also like hair loss. My hair was thinning, just everything. And I'm like, okay, this is either something to do with my period, or this is, maybe it's because I am getting older. Like I felt like I was going crazy. And of course, when you get online, you're reading stuff. For some reason, anxiety and depression just never pulled up. And growing up, like seeing all those commercials, you see are you depressed? Are you laying in bed? Also, that never really registered with me. And what's crazy about it is I'm at the place in my life right now where, like, honestly, everything's the best it's ever been. That's what made it even crazier, is because it's like financially, just at my family, everything was perfect. So I'm like, why am I feeling like this? So finally, a couple months ago, after going to my gynecologist to see if it could be something there, I made an appointment with just a primary care physician, because it had been years, honestly, since I've just like had lab work done and just sat down with the doctor. And I go in and I start telling him all of my symptoms, and he's like, yeah, you've got anxiety and you've got depression, and on the scale that it's on, it's bordering severe. He's telling me that because I've heard horror stories. He's like, I want to put you on a medicine I've got one that I think would really work well for you. And I immediately said, I'm like, hey, I don't want to, like, I don't want to be a zombie. I don't want to change my entire personality. He's like, first off, I take this med myself. Second off, this is going to calm all those symptoms. Your brain makes certain chemicals. You either make too much, you make too less. He's like, I really think this would help you. I really want you to give it a shot. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. My anxiety's already going up just thinking about that, because when you do have anxiety, any little thing can put you in just a state of panic. And I'm sitting there and I start thinking about everything, and I'm like, do I really have anxiety? And I'm thinking, and I'm like, any little simple task that I would do, like, let's say I'm filming a video. Let's say I am driving. Anything I would ever do, I would always be rushed, just in a constant, like, just rushed. Anything I would do, I would never take my time to do it. Just thinking about, you know, if I get invited to go somewhere and do something, that would stress me out. Even driving, just my sleep, everything. And I'm like, so I go home before I decide if I'm going to take the medicine. I start researching online. I start looking at the symptoms, and, you know, I watch a couple videos. One that I watched that was really helpful was, you guys will probably remember her, Samantha Raventhal. She was like an OG YouTuber. She's still here on YouTube. So I watched hers, and she has anxiety and depression, and I'm watching her video, and I'm like, that's me. That is me. So maybe the doctor's right. So then I start reading all the stuff about the medication. And this is one thing that really, like, it's honestly so sad, because when you get online and you start looking up about depression medication, anxiety medication, a lot of the things that pull up are just straight up negative. And it's because the main reason, so, like, girl, I'm a Google investigator. When, like, I know how it works. One thing's bad, one thing's good. So I try to compile everything, do a bunch of research, and make up my own mind. So as I'm reading through a lot of it, it seems like a lot of it is, one, your doctor prescribes the wrong medication. Two, sometimes it may take you going through 3 or 4 medications till you finally get that right one that your brain's like, this fits, you know? And 3, another thing is, so apparently when you start your medication, it takes a week or 2 to start kicking in, but it can take like a full 6 to 8 weeks for it to really start working. And unfortunately, the first 2 weeks, you actually have you can have really bad side effects. Thankfully for me, I can't believe it. I was truly blessed. I had no negative side effects. I may have had a couple, like, dry mouth, something like that, but I had 0 negative side effects. And that is what, you know, a lot of people, they get negative side effects, and then they stop their medication, and so they never get treated. And I know there's tons of ways you can deal with anxiety and depression. You can, you know, talk to a therapist. You can try to do yoga. You can, you know, you can do medication. For me, I've tried making small changes before, and nothing ever worked for me. So I was like, finally, I'm tired of living like this. Like, let me give something else a try. Just the first week alone of me actually being able to lay down and go to sleep, because I could never sleep. I would just lay there, you know, I might lay there for 2 hours trying to go to sleep and not be able to fall asleep. And of course, you know, that affects it. And, you know, you look into, like, I'm going to pop up some stuff here in a minute, but even the fact of, like, it just all started making sense. Like, my weight gain and stuff, you know, when you're stressed, your body and your anxiety, it raises your cortisol levels, which therefore it's like storing all of your fat. So that made sense. It even said it can affect your periods. Like, it affects your whole body. And I never really knew that. It literally affects your whole body. And I knew I had a problem when I started my YouTube channel and my Instagram. That brought me, like, it gave me kind of a purpose. I always just really enjoyed it. And the past year or so, when it started getting to the point to where it felt like a chore to do those things that brought me happiness, and I wasn't doing them, you know, I feel like my anxiety caused my depression, because my anxiety was causing me to not get out of bed. My anxiety was causing me to gain weight. My anxiety was causing me to not sleep well, therefore causing me to be depressed. You know what I mean? My anxiety, I'm pretty sure, and I'm gonna make an appointment with a therapist, and I honestly should have done that a long time ago, but things like from my childhood, just certain traumas that I went through, and maybe one day I'll talk about that, but those, honestly, because I've seen a lot of people say that anxiety, that's where it's triggered from. Like, it's triggered from some type of a trauma response. So I'm going to also incorporate going to therapy, trying to figure out what it is that triggers my anxiety. And I already feel like since I have been on this medication, you know, I'm moving more, I'm getting out. Like, for example, yesterday was Saturday, my husband was off work. I mean, it has probably been 2 years since we've like gotten out of the house and done something. Like, a lot of times I just didn't feel like it. It has already changed so much. Even the way I think. Like, I was always such a negative person, and that's another symptom of anxiety. It's, you think negatively. Your body is always in the flight or fight response is what I read. And it has just, it's been life-changing already. So that's why I wanted to do this video. I wanted to kind of document like my process, because I'm only about a month in, which is crazy that I've already had this positive of a result. And I want to kind of track how it goes, because I feel like if I'm already at this good a place, I can't imagine 6 months from now. And if I wouldn't have taken that step to go to the doctor, even though I didn't really think that's what was going to, you know, I didn't think that's what he was going to say. But if I wouldn't have taken that step, I don't know what I would have done. And, you know, it's sad too, because there's always such a, like, there's a stigma with all this stuff. Not a lot of people want to talk about it. Not a lot of people want to talk about medications and all that. So a lot of people are, you know, were like me, like, you feel like you're just alone in it. And you're like, am I the only person in the world dealing with this? That's why I wanted to do this video, because I feel like if there's someone else out there that is experiencing the same thing that I was, maybe it is time for you to go, you know, talk to somebody, or, you know, make small changes in your life and, you know, figure it out, because there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to wake up every day and be happy and be motivated and physically feel okay. And, you know, I think about all those years of like, what would have happened if I would have done this 10 years ago, you know? Which there's no looking back, but it's like so much time was wasted just because I just really didn't have any knowledge on the subject. It just, I had sometimes wonder if maybe if I had anxiety, but I never really thought that was a possibility. And I definitely didn't think I was depressed, because like I said, especially the past few years, like, my life is on an incline. Like, it's great, but that doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't, you could be a millionaire, you could be, you know, a supermodel and still deal with it. Your brain could still be dealing with it. So I never knew that. And it's just been such a life-changing experience. I can't wait to see what the next level is. And anyone out there that is wondering, just go talk to your doctor, because there's so many things, and you get on the line and you start looking and you think it could be this, it could be that. You know, I'm not sure what the percentage is. I don't want to state the wrong number, but there are just millions of Americans every year that deal with anxiety and depression. And they say a lot of it does go untreated, because a lot of people just don't talk about it. And I just think that is so sad. I'm definitely not trying to give medical advice. Like, I'm sure there will be somebody in the comments telling me, you know, that's why a lot of people don't get on video and talk about these things. I'm just trying to help give my experience on it, because if there was someone out there, if you can relate to my story and you've got some of those same symptoms, if this does help you somehow, if you, whether that is through therapy, medication, or just even going to your doctor, it could be something else, I don't know, but if it's able to help you, that's why I wanted to do this video. And a lot of people keep things bottled up and keep them pushed down, you know, just like I did. And years go by, and then, you know, I mean, it wreaks havoc on your body. It stresses not only your mind, but your body. And it's also a thing of too, like, I know for me, when I was dealing with my anxiety, there was a lot of things it caused me not to do, and also like ways that I would react, and you know, I would feel guilty. I would feel like a bad friend, a bad mom, a bad wife, a bad human, because it's like my body was stressed out, my mind was stressed out, I didn't know how to deal with things. And now it's just a whole different way of doing things. I'm actually able to process things, think about it for a minute. I have motivation to go do things, even small things too. Like yesterday I was outside and the wind was blowing and I was like, that feels good. Like, used to in the past, like, it's like you're walking through, I mean, they even say anxiety causes brain fog, and it's like you're kind of just going through the motions on things, and you don't really, I don't know, it's like you can't really appreciate life, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just feel like if you know what it is and you can work on treating it, God, like, there's a whole nother side, you know, a whole nother way of life out there. And even if you just talk to somebody about it, if you have someone that you can talk to about it, and just even that, just the fact of talking to somebody about it, which I know is hard, because for me, when I was feeling that way, I definitely didn't want to talk to anybody about it. But if you can just take that step and talk and acknowledging it, I feel like, you know, that definitely helps if you can talk to somebody about it, even though as hard as it is, sometimes to open up. I know it can be really hard, but it helps to talk about it. The change that I've felt after finally acknowledging what the problem was, you know, taking my medication, being able to get out, being able to do things, being able to sleep. You guys, I can't tell you, which I've probably said it a million times throughout this video, but I cannot tell you how much better I feel, how much, it's like, I feel like I'm being, I don't know, almost like an egg shell was cracked and I'm like a little spring chicken, you know, popping back up, ready to go live life. And it's made me more confident, honestly, because my anxiety, like, it was getting so bad. I would fixate on every little thing, and I mean, just the way I would think about myself and talk about myself, you know, it honestly makes me sad for myself, because it was so, just so negative. It was just such a negative spot to be in. And God, thinking about, that's why, like, when my daughter, you know, I'm gonna make sure I have talks with her about that, because I don't want anybody to, just thinking about someone feeling that way. I know the way I felt, and thinking about somebody else feeling that way, like, it really hurts my heart, because it's was such a lonely place. And I don't know, it's just crazy what your mind can do, the tricks that your mind can play on you. Makeup is very simple today. I'm not going anywhere special, and I swear I'm the worst when I'm doing a get ready with me. Like, if I can't just be all up in it, my makeup never turns out right. So this is what we're left with. But yeah, I hope, I kind of want to, I feel like I have covered all the topics I wanted to. I hope I did. I probably should have made like a little bullet point thing because there was so much I wanted to get into this. But I really hope, if nothing else, like I said, like I know this video is out of the norm for my channel, which is something I want to change this year. I want to start sharing more personal things with you guys, and I help you guys all the time on shopping things and stuff like that. If there's, just like my mental health stuff I'm dealing with, if that can help someone else too, I would love that. So yeah, I'm going to kind of document my progress with that, because a lot of people, I've watched videos on here too, people start it, but you never really see like the end result. Like, how did it work out for you? I'm always wondering, like, are those people still in a good place? So I was like, I really want to document this whole process. And if any of you guys, hold on, I gotta go get my setting powder. And if any of you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to share your experience down in the comments, you know, you guys can always reach out to me. My email is always in my description box. My Instagram is always in my description box. And I'm also gonna link some articles that I read and some websites for you guys, just because they helped me when I was looking. And maybe you watch this and you're like, every little thing, that's me. Or maybe there's some things and you're wondering. So I feel like the more knowledge you can get on the subject, like, read up on it. I research everything. I'm like, let me know everything. I got depression, I got anxiety. I want to know everything I can do to try to, you know, make it better and help it. So I'm going to link some of that stuff in my description box for you guys too. I think that is everything for this video. I hope it was able to help somebody. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and, I don't know, listening to me ramble. I love you guys so much. I will see you later in the week with, well, you guys are gonna like it. Let me just put it this way. It's a girly haul, and it's gonna be a good one. So yeah, I will see you guys later in the week with that. I love you so much. Remember to be kind to yourself and that you are loved. And yeah, I will see you guys back here on the next one. Bye guys.